Chair recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Poe, for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, it was September 1972. People from all over the world were gathered in Munich, Germany for the Olympic Games. After World War II, worldwide there was a feeling of optimism and unity. But overnight, those feelings turned to turmoil and turned to terror. The world awoke to images of a deadly terrorist attack in the Olympic Village. A terrorist group called Black September took 11 Israeli hostages and massacred them. In response, the Israeli government did not hesitate. The Israeli policy was, you will not murder Israelis anywhere in the world. So for 20 years, Israel hunted down the killers all over the globe, from Paris to London to Beirut to Stockholm. And with its response, one thing came clear to these terrorists. You hurt Israelis, there's going to be consequences, and the consequences will not be pleasant. Israel would find them, and Israel did find them. So flash forward 40 years. On the 11th anniversary of 9/11, there was once again attacks on American sovereign soil. In Egypt, militants stormed the U.S. Embassy. In Libya, our ambassador, Chris Stevens, and 3 other Americans were brutally murdered. There's been no accountability or action from this administration regarding these crimes. All Americans have received are grainy surveillance photos and some empty promises. So where's the justice for these families of these 4 victims? The identities of some of the attackers are known. Why have we failed to go get them? When America has been tested by terrorists in the past, we've gone after them, just like Israel has done. In 1996, 19 American soldiers were murdered in Saudi Arabia. The United States responded. In 2001, when 3,000 people from all over the world were murdered here in the United States, we responded. President Bush said the search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I've directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Is that our U.S. policy today? Well, we don't know. We don't know what the current U.S. policy is about Americans killed overseas. All we get is a lot of words with no results from the administration. So our enemies continue to test us because they no longer fear us, Mr. Speaker. The world no longer knows where America stands on terrorist attacks. Not our allies, not our enemies, and not American citizens. So what is our policy when a U.S. embassy is attacked? More broadly speaking, what is our foreign policy in North Africa? North Africa is a breeding ground for terrorism, and al-Qaeda affiliates they are being trained and expanding across the entire African continent. Earlier this year, on January the 16th, an al-Qaeda-linked terrorist affiliated with Mokhtar Belmokhtar took 800 people hostage at a gas facility in Algeria. One of those hostages killed was Victor Lovelady, a neighbor of mine in Atascocita, Texas. Victor's brother, Mike Lovelady, testified in front of our terrorism subcommittee last week. His family deserves answers from this administration about what happened in Algeria when Americans were killed. Who are these terrorists in Benghazi? Who are these terrorists in Algeria? Have the ringleaders gotten away with these murders? Is the massive intelligence service of the United States of America not capable of finding these people throughout the world? Maybe the intelligence service ought to spend a little less time snooping around in the private lives of Americans and go after terrorists overseas. But that's a different issue. The Loveladies deserve justice. They lost a father, a brother, and a husband. And these 2 attacks in North Africa prove Osama bin Laden may be dead, but terrorism is still alive and well. If terrorists do not know the consequences of their actions, they will not fear any consequences. That is the world in which we live. So it's time maybe we articulate a policy and mean it. If you attack Americans, America will come after you. Come hell or high water, we're going to track you down somewhere in the world. The Libyan and Algerian killers must meet the same fate as the members of the Black September group. So, Mr. Speaker, when you talk to the President, tell the President to track these people down. Let them know they cannot run, they cannot hide, they cannot disappear into the darkness of their evil ways. Because justice is what we must have Justice is what we do in this country, and that's just the way it is. I yield back.
This has been a Sunfish production.